Alright, I thought it would be really cool to talk about what I, well, what I saw just a little while ago. Well, I'm pretty sure some of you heard that The Lion King is going to be in theaters in 3D for a couple of weeks. I just went to see it. In fact, I just got home from the movie, and it was really cool. The 3D was like 100% perfect. It wasn't that cheap red and blue crap. It was, really good. A bunch of some things actually did pop out of the screen, and the background did have some depth to it, and it was really cool for some fans like me who have really liked The Lion King for years now since it came out. Yeah, and it was really cool to see the theater kind of crowded. Yeah, see, I like it better at night when it's a bit crowded because it's just a little weird in the afternoon or something when it's kind of empty. Yeah, so I went to the 7 o'clock show and saw The Lion King, and I just loved it. Thought it was really cool. And it was really fun to see it, and the audience laughed at all the right points, like a lot of the, I guess you could say, the Lion King classics, like a lot of those funny scenes that some people put on YouTube because they love them so much. And let's see what else. Um, oh yeah, I sat in the very back, and I had the whole row to myself, as I usually do when I go to see movies by myself. And there was this one group of fangirls right in front of me who were like bouncing around in their seats, and when some of the good songs were playing and all that stuff. That was pretty funny too. So yeah, overall that was really fun seeing The Lion King, and it's really cool to see an old favorite coming back to theaters oh, after over a decade. In fact, almost 2 decades. Yeah. So yeah, I remember it came out in the early 90s, and now it's in real 3D in theaters now. Yeah, that's definitely one thing a lot of fans didn't see coming. That was really cool to see. Yeah. And but yeah, it was really good. It was just amazing. And I think the only the only better movie experience I've had, actually, well, not exactly the only better experience than The Lion King. I've had plenty of really good movie experiences like Harry Potter, as a lot of us have, but I think no offense to all the die-hard Harry Potter fans, but I think the best movie experience I've ever had was when I went to see The Lord of the Rings, the extended editions in June this summer. It was great. It wasn't in 3D or anything. They were just playing um each of the films for like one night only for a couple weeks. Like the first one, The Fellowship of the Ring, came out on June 14th. The Two Towers on the 21st, and The Return of the King on the 28th. They were being played in select theaters, um, one night only each, and I got my tickets a few days in advance so that I could definitely see it, because The Lord of the Rings is definitely one of my favorites, so I thought it would be great to see the extended editions in theaters, because there are a lot of really cool deleted scenes. Some of them were very comedic, and some of them explained several things. In fact, some of them were parts that had been left out of the book trilogy. Yeah. Yeah, I think there were some parts in the book that were just left out a little. Yeah, there were definitely some that I recognized. In fact, one thing that I really liked was that before each movie there weren't any trailers. Instead, there was this introduction by Peter Jackson, the guy who directed the Lord of the Rings movies. Yeah, he's my favorite director. So that was really cool to see. And yeah, he would be talking about some things like how film production went about 10 years ago, and he mentioned some things about The Hobbit that's going to come out next year. And yeah, it was just great to see that on the big screen. And oh yeah, there were applauses like at the beginning and end of the movie. And the thing about seeing the movies in theaters is that since the theaters are so dark and the screen is so big, there's like literally nothing else to focus on. So it's like there's nothing else around you but the movie you're watching. You know what I mean? So in that sort of way, there was a lot of emphasis on some of the scenes, and especially some of the touching ones, like the Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee relationship, which I really like. Um, yeah, a couple of them almost made me cry because they were really, really touching. It was really good to see them, to see these movies in theaters. And in the third one, there were, I think, 6 or 7 applauses. Because, yeah, definitely in The Return of the King, that one's that big climax. So there's a bunch of scenes in that one that a bunch of fans just loved, like the kind of I can't wait to see this scene sort of parts to it. And yeah, I started one of those applauses. Like for those of you who have seen The Lord of the Rings, there's this scene when Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee, they're climbing up the volcano Mount Doom, and Frodo is sort of weakened, and Sam just carries him up the mountain. I know it's definitely not as big a deal, I guess, when you just say it, but when you see that part in the movie or watch the clip on the internet, it is just amazing. And the audience definitely applauded the loudest at probably my favorite scene in The Return of the King. Um, for those of you who've seen it, it's this part when this this huge spider has Frodo trapped in this big web, and he's been separated from Samwise. But then, by chance, Samwise the Brave comes along with the sword ready and fights this big spider to save his friend. Yeah, that part when he comes in was just great. Everyone applauded so loud and enthusiastically. It was just great. Yeah, the whole experience was great. I don't know if I'll have a movie experience like that ever again, but that's definitely what makes it very special. Yeah, and I'm glad I wrote about it, because then I'll remember it forever. That's actually another reason why I'm making this video blog, is so that years from now I'll definitely remember some of the things I did in high school. In fact, that's also why I keep a typed journal. So yeah, overall, things have been really good. Really good. It's just great.